What's going on, main characters? It's your boy Talks Too Much with Third Party Studios. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are talking Invincible, and don't you worry, it is spoiler-free. We're going to be covering Season 3, but we're going to be making sure that this is spoiler-free for you. It's a fun conversation. We cover a lot of it, and we have a great conversation. So with all that out of the way, let's jump right into it. Hold on, intro. It's intro time. Shush, everyone shut up! Okay, we are going to talk about, this was going to be our main story for the day, so let's jump right into it. Invincible Season 3. Guys, we've talked about Invincible a couple of times on the channel. I don't think this is our most popular topic, but we're going to cover it. Invincible has been peak fiction. This show has outkicked its coverage by magnitudes. The storytelling is awesome. Robert Kirkman has blown everyone away after The Walking Dead kind of died out and started to fall flat. I really I didn't have a lot of expectations from him. Invincible, whether it's the comic or the actual show itself, all of it, it's fantastic. There's variations between, you good?
Yeah, I'm adjusting, don't worry.
Okay, cool. There's variations between the comic and the show itself. But as far as like how you tell a good story, the show is just succeeding on all fronts. The season finale was last week, and it finished hard. Rotten Tomatoes has this show at a 99%, with the audience score being at 91%.
And they don't agree on anything, audience and critics.
Never. They never. Exactly. Even if you go over to IMDb, which we've sourced as well, 8.7 across almost 250,000 reviews on IMDb. And again, IMDb it's Amazon, so I mean, one thing you could say about this,
Amazon rating on the Amazon show.
Exactly. So you could say this is you could say you could distrust this number. However, Rotten Tomatoes has never lied.
Lower than yeah. The Amazon rating service, a rating on the Amazon show is actually lower than a
curated Rotten Tomatoes numbers.
Yeah.
So honestly, yeah, there's no, like, you got to trust us on this, guys. The season 1, 2, and 3 of Invincible just gets better. Season 2 had a little bit of a slower churn, and it touched on a few like arcs that really weren't narratively huge, but they were all.
That's also where you can use the excuse as COVID.
You could use the excuse COVID because they did have a lot of holdups on animation that slowed them down. There was a longer wait between season 1 and 2 than there was for 2 and 3. So as soon as season 2 came out, season 3 was right on its heels a year later. So we were back to original scheduling, and I think we are back to original scheduling now, especially after how hard season 3 ended. Guys, season 3 ended with some amazing conclusions to great stories, introductions of characters that were honestly in the comics really highly anticipated, and they just did an amazing job bringing them to the screen. I thought it was awesome. I watched it. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. And I had an idea of what I was looking forward to, but I was so hyped throughout the entire episode.
The show where you know how it goes in the ending. You spoiled it for yourself, but
I'm the only person in the world who isn't punished by spoilers.
I guess I don't know how that works. But
it's how bizarre.
But it's like season 1 came out banger. Basically, everyone in the world almost knew what Invincible was after season 1 of how it ended and like the gruesomeness and how it was portrayed and whatnot. And season 2 took a deep dive.
Yeah, they dug deeper, made like they found characters to be like to make more tragic interactions with. They started doing a lot more development on characters. And some of the villains / fights.
I'd say they do a little bit more development in season 3 on characters than they did on 2.
But they do that development, and it feels better because it's paired right on top of things actually happening. Because in season 3, we're not going to spoil anything in this. We're not spoiling anything in this conversation. But I would say that in season 3, you have not only great moments of character growth and deep exploration of the characters, but there's also a lot of shit happening. So much so that you have one huge conflict happen, and then literally at the end of that episode, the next major conflict happens.
Yeah, you're talking about 8 and 9, because I think 8 could be spread out between like 3 episodes.
And honestly, I think they under-delivered. I think they should have spent a little bit more time on that. I'm going to let that one hard go because they introduced the characters we needed to have introduced. The delivery was successful. You were meant to feel like you were like everyone was defeated and everything was going badly, and the main character was meant to lose in a significant way, and all of these things were supposed to be delivered. We got that. And there is you're right that we probably could have gotten an extra episode out of it at least. I think that it's more opportunity to over deliver on
We're
something.
being so vague about this.
We are, but I think we're getting the point across is that there's a lot to look forward to in this show. The characters are talk to me about the characters. What is your take on the characters and how they're broken out?
They're way more fleshed out. I actually ended up caring about characters that I didn't give a fuck about before.
Right.
At the beginning of the season, Mark Invincible, I thought was just being so stupid. I mean, he's been stupid throughout the entire show or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was afraid that they were going to revert back to basically base Mark
mm-hmm.
and his way of thinking at the end of the season. But they didn't shy away from it. Yeah, good.
They attacked
his motivation. It makes sense. I think they could have done it better and had it more impactful.
Fair.
But I don't know how well they're adapting the comics or whatnot. They're doing this entirely off of.
So I'll answer that. They do a good job of adapting the comics. Some of the biggest variations between the comics and the show have been Amber specifically. Some of the interactions around the college in season 1. I think a lot of the interactions in season 3 held true to the comic book lore, but I think how the events happened was unfolding a little bit differently. The events happened. All the major milestones are hit. They successfully strike the chords. So
that was an excuse early on Marvel. In Marvel or whatever, where it's
just a friendly reminder, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel if you are new. It is free. It's the best way to show your support and to help us grow. You can also always change your mind later. And if you haven't already, smash that like button to help us reach further out into that YouTube algorithm. Comment your thoughts on the video so far below. And if you haven't already, go check out the merch store. Links in the description. Got a lot of cool stuff in there. I think you guys are really going to enjoy. With that out of the way, let's get back to the video.
Some dumb thing or some shitty thing happens and it's well, it was in the comics, and everyone's oh, it was in the comics, so therefore it's no, just because it happened in the comics doesn't make it good.
Right.
It probably wasn't good in the comics either, but
it's good faith to the comics.
Yeah. I mean, you can change up source material that sucks. There could be certain aspects of source material that you enjoy, and then you found it was oh, well, that was kind of shittily done, and then someone can adapt it better. There are moments like that, but this show is so fucking hit or miss with me, to be honest.
Hit it. Yeah, keep going.
It's season 2 is just whatever. I right now I couldn't tell you what happened in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
It almost just jumps to me. It's yeah, there was that alien planet. Nolan had a kid or whatever, and then it's oh, the Viltrumites are coming, which is an ongoing thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think season 3 grabbed me back. To be honest, it's
are you how anticipatory to the next season are you? How much are you looking forward to it?
The end credit, not so much. That they're going in a different way with
with the set, with the villains and stuff.
Yeah. I liked the whole I can't fucking talk about it without spoiling it.
Well, there's a character named Conquest who is a villain in the show.
Yeah, I want to
say that exists.
I want to talk to you about this.
We can do spoiler free in a minute. We can do spoiler in a minute, but I want to get through the breakdown of the stories and stuff before we talk about.
So this show kind of lost me around. So they dropped 3. They dropped 3 episodes, and then it's episode week after that, right?
Yep. So 3 episodes to drop, and then week episodic after that.
4, they lost me.
Okay.
And I don't remember what happened 4. It's I just stopped giving a shit.
Sure.
Mostly because I didn't like Marcus' character and how he was going and whatnot. But they actually developed him and his younger brother, which was not a fan of either.
Yep.
But they also developed him a bit more, not being such a gung-ho. What is he supposed to be, fucking 10?
No, he's 6 months old.
Well, yeah, I mean, like,
so we need to.
I mean, in dog years.
For context, we do need to add that into this spoiler-free breakdown. So
that's from season 2.
Yep. So, but I mean, like, we do need to break that context down as we're talking about the characters. We can't leave that unaddressed.
Well, explain Nolan's sexcapade with insects.
Will do. So there's a race called Viltrumites in this universe. They're basically Kryptonians from Superman, more or less. I mean, they're pretty close. They can fly, super strength, very powerful, very difficult to kill. And they are the strongest known beings typically across this universe. The main character, Mark, is the son of a Viltrumite and a normal human woman. And
while you do this breakdown, BRB.
Here we go. Can you help me out here? All right. So Mark Grayson, the main character, is a son of a human woman and a Viltrumite who comes to Earth. And the idea with Viltrumites is that they live a very, very long time, like thousands of years they'll live. And so in season 2, we get introduced to Mark's younger brother, who is kind of half-bred between Viltrumite and another race called Flaxans, who actually age and die really quickly. So Mark's younger brother ages incredibly fast. From the day he's born up to his last appearance in season 3, you actually see him age like up as if he's 11 or 12 years old. But he is actually less than a year old, timeline-wise. So I apologize that we went on this tangent and had to break all that down, but if you haven't seen the show, I hope that was helpful. The main thing to focus on with the show is that it is a superhero universe. They are characters, and when it comes to Mark and his character, the whole story has been less than a year, or about 2 years. And so he's only had his powers for a small window of time. He was not born to have his powers immediately. So he lived until he was about 18 years old as a normal human. Then he gets his powers, and the whole story's been like less than 2 years. And so the character growth opportunities he's had have been kind of limited, and most things that have happened to him in the last couple of years have been major, catastrophic, tremendously outside of his wheelhouse events that he has to have personally dealt with in order to fix them. So a lot of struggle for his character, a lot of struggle for his life, and it's just an amazingly dark story. They do a great job of telling it, and the voice actors are people you'll recognize as well. So we have Conquest is one of the villains in season 3 that he has to deal with, and Mark is voiced by I'm trying to remember. I apologize. What's the actor's name who plays Glenn?
Stephen Yeun.
Stephen Yeun, yeah. So Stephen Yeun plays Mark Grayson, Invincible, and then we have the actor who plays Negan. Can you hit me up again? Help me out.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
These two actors are voice acting one of the major conflicts of season 3 on opposite sides of the conflict, and it's really cool to see the dynamic between these characters.
It's very meta.
It is very meta. I mean, the show does go pretty hard at like meta jokes and meta references. So yeah, Invincible at the start of season 3 and the end of season 3, he's aging super quickly. This is Oliver, the brother who I was talking to you guys about. He ages incredibly quickly. So
which I thought was shit character to begin with.
Okay, I think now let me just see if there's. So the other story is Invincible creator Robert Kirkman on that Conquest finale fight, surprise Walking Dead reunion between Mark fighting Satan, the unused comic storyline. So that is something else that we are going to get into for spoilers. We'll break that down.
You gonna spoil me?
We are going to.
I don't even know about that.
I will break it down for you. Yeah, absolutely.
I tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits. Don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life.